Welcome to the program. This is the third episode of our series River in West, focusing on the state of rivers in the Nairobi River Basin. And remember, there are three main rivers in Nairobi. That is Mathare River, Ngong River, and Nairobi River. Now, it is clear that the rivers have become open sewers. They've become channels of waste, especially agrochemicals, industrial waste, human waste, and solid waste. But the question is, can the rivers ever be rehabilitated?
It is not too late. This is the right time to start.
In this show, the way forward and the role of various stakeholders in rehabilitation of the rivers.
Like Karen, for instance, Karen Langata, they've been able to organize themselves in such a way that you can't just put up a structure without the permission or without the endorsement of the association.
When we have waste problem sorted, the problem of the river pollution will be solved by 30 to 40%.
Also in this show, we will sample comments from our viewers on the hashtag River in West. But first, here is our fact sheet.
Countries across the world are generating large amounts of waste at an alarming rate as populations grow and economies expand. Already, a World Bank report estimates that the amount of waste generated in the world by urban households is growing faster than the rate of urbanization. According to the same report, there will be 1.4 billion more people staying in cities across the world by 2025. This will have an impact on the amount of waste produced per person per day. This means more pressure on natural resources like rivers that suffer the biggest risk of pollution due to improper waste management practices, hence creating an inevitable need for Nairobi River regeneration. Some of the benefits that would come with rehabilitation of Nairobi River include increase in potential for tourism, improved security and accessibility, a clean environment for Nairobi city residents, availability of clean water for multiple uses, and increased economic activities along the river basin, among others. For the Chamwada report, I am Michael Zimanji.
Now, it's been talk without any long-term solutions and actual implementation of the many proposals that remain on the shelves regarding rehabilitation of Nairobi rivers. Elijah Mwangi is next on what exactly can be done differently.
Nairobi River continues to choke on garbage, industrial waste, agro and petrochemicals and heavy metals, among other pollutants. The question that many have been asking is, what will it take to restore Nairobi River that long lost its glory? Let's begin with the role of residents' associations. The Kenya Alliance of Residents Association, KARA. It's now mobilizing its members to be actively involved in restoration of rivers.
One of the ways that we can be able to do that as communities now is to make sure that we have policing mechanism of rivers within our areas. Like you can talk about maybe adopt a mile of a river, adopt a river, for you to take responsibility as a resident of that particular area to ensure that the river is actually taken care of.
You'll be surprised to learn that some residents are already taking up that initiative in most unlikely areas. This is a section of Nairobi River in Korogosho. Area residents, in collaboration with development partners, are changing the face of the riverfront.
Tunafanya kazi ya maintenance ya hii mradi. Hii mradi ni ya Korogosho Upgrading Center.
Kukuwe tu na mpangilio vijana venye tunaweza fanya hiyo usafi, takataka tunaipeleka penye inafaa, badala mwananchi kufikiria tu ni kwa mto peke yake. Tunaweza taka hii mto iwe safi.
Then there is the role that can be played by the business community.
Out of this process, can we create a Nairobi Rivers working group? Something that begins to bring together some of the critical business leaders in this city. There's a lot of them who have huge investments here. There are many new upcoming malls that are named for rivers, like we have 2 rivers, we have Riviera and all of these things. How do we get these entrepreneurs, how do you get these businessmen, how do you get these deep-pocketed individuals to start putting their money where their mouth is and begin to improve the environmental assets of the city? Because it improves the business bottom line for them.
Another proposal worth implementing is bringing infrastructure closer to the river that would have far-reaching implications on changing the waterfronts.
I think it's also the way we value land. I don't think this is one of the most valuable parts of Nairobi. Again, because it's at the back, it doesn't have infrastructure. How about if we change the structure of the city? That some of the major thoroughfares, some of the major road corridors would actually run along the river, so that it gives people that orientation, it creates attention and a focus and an excitement and a commitment to clean this and make them clean, because this is really our heritage.
In our first episode, we showed you how industries are discharging industrial effluent directly into the river, begging the question, what role does the manufacturers play? The Kenya Association of Manufacturers says one of their initiatives towards this cause is carrying out water audits.
We look at the water usage by our members, how they can conserve the same, and how they also release their wastewater. So that's where the issues of effluent do come up, where we work with members to see how they can ensure that they are managing their wastewater efficiently.
The association says it's not their role to police the disposal of waste by the manufacturers, but they play a key role in sensitizing their members on the necessary laws to be followed. Talking of laws, experts argue that to address the pollution by the industries, impunity must be dealt with once and for all.
Apparently, these industries enjoy a lot of protection from the forces that be, so much so that right from the days of National Environment Secretariat, which was then replaced by NEMA, National Environmental Management Authority, this is an agency that is mandated to police polluters. But to the best of my knowledge, I've never seen any industrialist owning an industry in industrial area prosecuted.
About 2 weeks ago, government officials launched what they termed as Nairobi River Restoration Command Center at Michuki Park. Whether the cleanup exercise will bear fruit remains to be a matter of wait and see. But years back, on the same spot, another cleanup exercise was launched by the then Environment Minister, John Michuki. Unfortunately, the cleanup exercise was not sustainable. So, what went wrong?
It was a great initiative. Unfortunately, it was an initiative in isolation. So it wasn't rooted in a, may I call it a special purpose vehicle or some kind of institution that would allow it to carry forward beyond what happened along Kipande Road.
A number of possible solutions have been proposed by various experts, but what they all seem to agree on is that a multi-agency operation is inevitable.
For us to have a clean Nairobi River basin, behavior change of those who pollute the same river they depend on is critical. For the Chamwada report, I'm Elijah Mwangi.
Thank you, Elijah, for that comprehensive report. Now, let's give a little more thought on the problem of encroachment. What exactly should be done and what are stakeholders saying? Brian Obuya is next with that report.
Previously on this segment, we outlined the scale of encroachment along Nairobi River. Several laws protecting the wetlands have been put in place over the years. The implementation of the law has been an uphill task. Bodies tasked with that very mandate pushing the blame away from themselves. One of the challenges that has been cited when it comes to the fight against this rampant encroachment are long court processes.
This is what these developers are taking advantage of. When the ministry moves in or any other planning authority to stop such a development, these people sometimes go to court and obtain a stay order until the case is heard and determined. So some of those developments you are seeing in those areas of Nairobi, some of them, they may have already been served with an order to stop any development. But you may find the owners have gone to court, they have obtained a stay order, until the case is heard and determined. I believe, according to the new Chief Justice, who has promised that cases that have been pending in court, they will be dispensed with as quickly as possible.
But in the same breath, the government has kept the talk tough and reaffirming its commitment.
And all of us who will be found to be in conflict with what we are doing, the law will take its course. Yeah, even if they are permanent structures, so long as they are in conflict with the law, in conflict with the requirement of what we are doing.
The Kenya Alliance of Residents Association has expressed interest in helping government agencies in observing these provisions.
It also behooves the resident associations to really take a firm stand on those kind of structures and not wait until it has taken place, but prevent it before it does. There are good examples of the resident actions that have prevented property that are violating the existing laws. Like Karen, for instance, Karen Langata. They've been able to organize themselves in such a way that you can't just put up a structure without the permission or without the endorsement of the association. And we are working with a number of resident associations to ensure that this is replicated in a number of areas.
What remains to be seen is the difference between what has been promised now and what we have seen and heard over the years.
We now take a short break. When we return, we will cross over to Norway, where in that country, proper waste management and specifically recycling has helped clean the environment. Welcome back. We are discussing pollution in Nairobi rivers. Now, some time back, I visited Norway. Norway is cited as one of the countries that has put in place proper management of waste and even implemented recycling that is helping clean the environment. So I sought to understand what exactly has been done. Fredrikstad City is known for admirable standards in cleanliness. Cleanliness that eventually reflects on the state of its water bodies, including rivers. Here, recycling is at an advanced stage. I had a one-on-one interview with the mayor of the city who explained to us the practices in place that make waste management here efficient. First, waste is separated at the source. Residents are given different bins for different types of waste.
We separate some fractions, for instance, we separate glass and we also separate paper. And we separate, some people, not everybody, but some separates then food disposals, and they puts it in bins where it is converted to earth and dust, of course. Yeah, they have two different large containers outside their houses, one for paper and one for the rest of the waste. And this is what the city is coming around 1 time a week to collect.
Plans have been put in place whereby you can sell used bottles at designated collection points, even at cash machines, and get instant cash instead of throwing them into the environment. So this is Norwegian krona.
It's a very great deal of recycling. And you also could use your cans, your boxes, which for instance beer cans, you can also put those inside there. Okay. And they are of course crushed and they are being made to metal again to make new products.
The cans?
Yeah, the cans.
So nothing goes to waste here?
Nothing goes to waste.
The residents pay for this service and they are assured the waste will be collected efficiently, unlike in Nairobi, where because of inefficient waste collection, residents in many neighborhoods have resorted to enrolling the services of private companies to collect garbage. The biggest lesson from Norway is that organic waste is turned into biogas that is used as fuel to run the buses in the public transport network.
Our heat distribution, which also burns our waste, are also producing biogas. It can be different materials because, for instance, if you have a slaughtery, they can deliver some of the rest products into this biogas factory and they create biogas from that. So we have a new factory outside the city here where we produce biogas, and then this biogas is used on our buses in this region.
Apart from being used in buses, where else is the gas used?
It's mainly used at the buses, but there are also some other services which is buying biogas. And we use this biogas also on our trucks who are collecting the waste in the city.
Sewage is also recycled.
Pumped down to our waste disposal factory, and there we clean it and take out the organic materials, and then the rest of it will be going out into the sea.
The water?
The water. But the value of doing so is that we do not want all the organic materials into the sea. It does have a negative impact on the environment.
And there are many more benefits of recycling apart from helping deal with climate change.
We can heat up the buildings in the city by the steam from the disposal and burning of our waste.
So it means less global warming?
Less global warming, yeah. So the outlet of CO2 in this city have been decreasing because of this policy.
Then you will be surprised to learn that here, when it comes to the disposal of household items, nobody will manage it for you. There is a designated dumping site where you take the refuse yourself.
This one looks okay.
Yeah, this one can still be used. So, and I didn't need it at home. So I'm going to put it here so that it will be taken to a shop for reusing, and it can be resold by a shop.
So these that can be reused, you place them here?
Yeah,
even
yeah. This one, yeah, this is totally useful.
Then you lose. Are you going to gain anything?
No. It's I'm happy that somebody else can use what I don't need. Dispose it off. I don't need it at home.
Okay. Solid waste management at its best. Everyone is involved. Here they say it's not just about the government. What is your role to keep the environment clean? Now back to Nairobi, and the Nairobi County government says it has plans to begin recycling waste.
We have expression of interest to have energy from waste, where you burn all the waste because the land for landfill is a challenge. You burn and generate energy and also solve the problem of waste in the city. These are issues we are working on, and we expect when we implement them, the Nairobians will be happy and will enjoy the right to clean and healthy environment.
The policy of reduce, reuse and recycle has been on the shelves for many years, and the question is, can this now become a reality in Nairobi? Experts say for that to be realized, proper waste management systems must be in place. First, the sewer system.
The area of liquid waste management was taken up by African Development Bank. Phase 1 has already been completed, and that has led us improve the coverage of sewage in the city from 40 to 48%. Now, phase 2 is under negotiation, where they are ready to put over 6 billion still on expansion on coverage of sewage network, and this will increase the coverage to almost 60%. Earth Water is the implementing agency in this matter, but we are doing it in partnership with them and Nairobi Water.
Then, proper collection of solid waste, and most important, adherence to laws and behavioral change.
When we have waste problem sorted, the problem of the river pollution will be solved by 30 to 40%. Then if we fix the problem of sewage, the problem will be solved by almost 80%. Then we can now talk of relocating the people who are encroaching and also planting the trees, providing the furniture to the riparian land, and then also ensuring that we keep on monitoring, surveillance. The people who are polluting are now put to task, or they pay for it.
History of the Chams River and the cholera outbreaks in London and all of these diarrheal episodes is historic. Cities come from this. I think what we're not getting right is the time to stop doing this. I think we should stop. It's been many years. I think now we can begin to start appreciating our environmental assets and creating an aesthetic appeal that basically enhances land value and improves the quality of life in the cities. It is not too late. This is the right time to start.
Time now for our interactive segment. Michael Zimanji has been going through the many comments we've received from our viewers on the hashtag River in West, and here is his summary.
This is what Kenyans are saying online about addressing the problem facing Nairobi River. Africa Updates opines that how we deal with waste is key, stating, the solution lies in proper waste disposal through the reintroduction of scheduled waste collection by county governments. This is echoed by Katar Taka, who adds that proper treatment of industrial waste and observing the reduce, reuse and recycle principle, the amount of solid waste being dumped in the river will reduce. While Dixon Omaso suggests that we expand our sewerage system as we treat industrial waste. Others are convinced that strengthening and enforcing our laws is pivotal. Jay Mecca believes that building owners who do not adhere to county regulation and building codes be brought to account. The Kenya Alliance of Residents Association, KARA, calls for the firm enforcement of law as we involve other stakeholders and residents. Judy Mwaura joins in by suggesting that apart from involving experts to manage the river, strict laws be implemented so that anyone found polluting be charged without fail. But Brian Okoth disagrees with this, sharing that conservation and management of the river requires a change of mindset rather than laws, since the laws have clearly not worked. Amos Gitobu, on the other hand, is happy that garbage collection has already begun under the Nairobi City County Regeneration Program. Joha Odhiambo feels the same. He says that the youth are actively involved in the cleanup under the Kazi kwa Vijana initiative. And Elvin Sons is thanking us for the excellent production on this series, River in Waste. He says he has learnt vital information on causes of pollution and the way forward. On behalf of the Chams media team, thank you so much for the compliments. And that's our feedback segment. For the Chamwada Report, I'm Michael Zimanji.
We've come to the end of the show. You can watch this program and our other productions on our YouTube channel. Kindly subscribe to the channel and give us feedback. Now, next week, we will go into informal settlements. We will bring you a report of how the civil society, the private sector, and residents have come up with ingenious ways of managing waste without waiting for solutions from the government, and even turning those activities into business, into employment. Yes, the rehabilitation of rivers within the Nairobi River Basin can become a big employer. You don't want to miss that. On behalf of the entire crew, thank you so much for watching today's show, and bye-bye for now.